Welcome to Miss Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses. Today, the musings are going to be about Prodigal Son, The Professionals, the episode that aired on Monday. I love Prodigal Son. I love Prodigal Son. It is one of my favorite shows, one of my favorite shows to watch that has not been canceled so far or has not been ended. I love every minute of this guilty pleasure, and it's an incredibly guilty pleasure. We're going to be going to Spoiler TV. We're going to be going to Spoiler TV. Here is the link here. I've always liked to cite my source here at Miss Martin Uses. We like to cite our sources. This is the link for the article that we're going to be using today from Spoiler TV. Let's dig into this. This article is by Luana Arturi. Prodigal Son. The best quote ever, the best quote ever. We are not your family. We are just a group of people tragically bound to you by blood. That's probably one of the best lines ever. What's going on? Malcolm seems to be pining over Eve. And though I understand she's special, and he's not really used to having that kind of relationships, they were actually together for a hot minute. So maybe it's a little too much. At least when we're talking about her personality and not what she represents. Ah, yes, she represents the girl in the box. He says she broke up with him via voicemail, which I think is cold. That's terrible. Don't ever do that. That's mean. Though I was pretty sure that that was more than clear the last time they saw each other in person. Why, yes, Miss Lady who is writing this article, I agree. Continuing on with the article, but that would be forgiven since, as I imagine, Eve shows up dead, which is the first step in Malcolm actually capturing the evil Nicholas Endicott. Tom Paine was so great here. Why, yes, he was. Yes, he was precious. The scene where he asks Edrisa to tell him what she knows over his girlfriend's dead body was quite heartbreaking. Yes, and I must say, it really was heartbreaking. And for the love of everything, imagine if your girlfriend dies and you want to find out how did she die. You get to go straight to the mortician because she's your buddy. Always convenient. Continuing, he was considering accepting that her death was ruled a suicide since he didn't know what had happened during the time he didn't see her. But when he learned she's been dead for weeks, he knows she never made it out of town, and she would have never stopped digging into her sister's murder. Her sister, a.k.a. the woman in the box. When he tells Jessica, continuing, she's heartbroken and enraged. Jessica, his mommy, which only gets worse when she learns her new boyfriend's to blame Eve's death. Okay, doesn't anybody proofread these? Really? I think she meant to say to blame for Eve's death. And though Gil denies it, I think there's some truth in the question of why she's attracted to these men. Yes, what's it with this mother? What is with this mother on this show? What is with Jessica that she always attracts murdering fiends? What's up with that? And why they're attracted to her. Yeah, why are they attracted to her? But before the heartbreak, we get to see her on a mission to get the truth, and there's nothing like Jessica on fire. And I love seeing that, especially when it includes confronting Martin. Yes, her husband. Here is a quote. Never bet against your mother, darling. Okay, that's actually kind of a creepy quote there, kind of mommy dearest. Let's continue. When they get to the prison, Ainsley's already there. Okay, apparently you've got this high security, mass murdering serial killer who's in the behind bars, whatever he is. Everyone seems to be able to just walk in and meet him without making all these big appointments. Really? Okay, I'm continuing. They figure out the information Sophie gave Martin was what helped him get the deal of the century concerning his prison perks. I always wondered about those prison perks, by the way. Not making a deal with the government, but by making one with Endicott. Dun, dun, dun. Of course it is. Martin just has his fingers into everything. Continuing, which makes sense. I don't know exactly why I hadn't considered it before, but it is weird that such a hated character gets such privileges. Indeed. Continuing, he tells them what Sophie told him, that no one can say no to Endicott if they want to live, and that means doing everything he says, even if it turns you into a monster. We can't really be sure it's the full truth, since it would make no sense for him to be so reticent to talk, but alas, the comment about Jessica always saying yes was kind of funny, if abrogating. Yes, because he did it in the context of Jessica being rather open, let's just say. Okay, continuing. Given the profile, Malcolm assumes Endicott doesn't get his nads dirty. Okay, so they hope to find the killer and make him turn on Nicholas, something Martin says is impossible. Edrisa is already getting pressured into ruling Eve's death the suicide, which only confirms their suspicions. The killer is smart, though since the cause of death is drowning, she was drowned in a different body of water and then thrown in the river. It was a murder. Gil has a source that used to be a contract killer. Well, of course, don't we all? And he's the one that points them to the Nightingale. They draw her out by going to her next kill and intercepting her. She denies killing Eve. Killing Eve, that's the name of the movie. But whoever did it probably had to get very close to her to make it seem like a suicide. Honestly, I'm not sure that theory tracks, but it does give them another starting point, and they go to her apartment. Something I have no idea why they hadn't thought of before. That's a good point. That's a good point, lady who's writing this article. They realize he'd been watching them from the floor above for a while and realize he's the man posing as Martin's new guard. What this means for the regular one worries me. Yes, oh my gosh, I hope he's okay. They need to get a proofreader for these articles. It was especially creepy because Malcolm saw it from the ceiling of the bedroom. So if this creeper was watching them, that's just really creepy. Okay, they get to the prison, I'm continuing, when he was about to kill the surgeon for talking, just in time to watch Martin sink his thumbs into his eye sockets. This was amazing, I must admit. We get to full on see Martin go serial killer. And yeah, he would start beating him, and then he started doing the thumb thing, kind of like what the Mountain did to the Martell guy. And he did it for such a sweet reason. He did it. Why did he do it? He did it as revenge for making his son suffer. Yeah, because the dude killed his son's girlfriend. Who said that this serial killer wasn't sweet, says the article. He'll, of course, be killed before he can be interrogated, or Endicott's profile wouldn't make sense. Some commentary here from the article. Now, there are a couple scenes that had very cheesy writing. Really? Yeah, this show has very cheesy writing. I love the show, but sometimes it's so inconsistent. The moment where Martin gets renewed strength by Martin calling him Dad, and Jessica and Gil's romantic scene, both of them rolling my eyes. Oh, no. Jessica and Gil's romantic scene was amazing. This person is heartless. We love it. We ship it. Jessica and Gil forever. It was great. And they kissed. It was lovely. So I am totally disagreeing with you, lady, who is writing this article. So I'm just going to skip the rest of this paragraph because I do not accept what you say. What does she say next? The cherry on top is a team barging into Malcolm's house to arrest him for killing Eve's murder. Yeah, at the last moment, he's just chilling there, and all of a sudden they break through the doors, and we thought it was a nightmare, but apparently the dude who murdered Eve showed up dead, and Malcolm had visited him earlier. And of course, all of the evidence is planted here. Oh, this is an interesting commentary this person has. It was probably all theater for whoever is watching him, so that Endicott thinks his plan of framing him worked, and they'll try to solve it on the down low. But I'm sure there were better ways to handle it, and that forensic evidence doesn't work that fast. Maybe I'm watching too much Line of Duty. So maybe that's what it was. A big show? That's quite a big show, though. Unless I missed something. If I am missing something, please feel free in the comments to tell me I am completely missing something. What does this lady say who writes the article? I'm still very much looking forward to the finale. I just hope they pull it together. Why, yes, precious, so do I. This frustration, of course, comes from love. When a show is just bad, I don't even bother. That's true. But when a show with such potential is so inconsistent, I have to say I get a little bit annoyed. I think it's consistent. It's fine. We're not looking for War and Peace here, lady. We're not looking for War and Peace. Continuing. It won't make me stop liking the show, but I can't help hoping they get the memo at some point. They're fine. Continuing. Hopefully, we'll get to see an improvement in that area with the second season, because no matter my qualms, this show is definitely something special. And another great line, another romantic swing and a miss for you, referring to Jessica's great ability to apparently date murderers. So I disagree with this article somewhat, as I have said, but it was a good episode. It was a good episode, and it made me want to watch more. And I always say, if something makes you want to watch the next week, it's probably done its job. It's probably done its job, because the enemy of something like this is apathy. The enemy is apathy. So that is Prodigal Son, episode 19. Have a great day, everyone. And be certain when you date someone to check to make sure they're not a murdering, psychopathic, homicidal serial killer.